difference. But when you're doing a seated row on a seated row machine, and you take a look at both pieces of equipment, and you can see on screen he's doing 400 pounds on one machine, and then he can barely do a plate aside on the other one. Don't tell me it's the equipment. It's not the equipment, Hany. It's not. You're covering for this guy. If you were to listen to him, you can call out 10 hypocritical things and connect the dots because he's talking, with all due respect to the guy, out of his ass. Talking out of his ass. You're trying to force a narrative. Just shut up and train the guy. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Very excited to be here today. We got another video, and today's star is going to be 19-year-old natural bodybuilder who apparently gets destroyed on leg day. Now, if you're not familiar with who exactly this 19-year-old natural bodybuilder is, well, then you clearly didn't see Hany Rambod's last video starring Julian Fitzgerald, because he mentioned in that video at least 150,000 times that Julian is natural.
For those of you that are wondering whether or not he's natural or not, and why I do believe that he is natural, is because, again, no disrespect, but he is not very strong. 50-pound dumbbells, not going super heavy. When you're taking drugs, guys, you naturally, one of the first things that goes up is your strength.
You might as well go 365.
Do you think you'll get it?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I just loaded as much as I could.
All right.
Tell me on 1, 2, 3, okay?
3, 2, 1, up.
Here we go. Woo-wee!
That's actually insane.
Yo! Let's get 5 or 6. 4. Let's go, Julian. Push it. 6. Let's get 8.
Come on, come on.
7. Okay, this
Let's go 12, maybe. Yeah.
Go heavier. Stop.
Okay.
That's too light for you. And you don't do weighted pull-ups?
I do. I just
You do?
3 plates.
You do 3 plates? I don't even know what to say right now. It's just depressing. I'm not sure to be like, if I should be motivated or just sad.
That's why, believe it or not, I do believe he's natural. Looking at his blood work, not just myself, but a lot of other experts who've seen it, but also knowing what I know in the gym, but you're usually strong when you take drugs. And no offense, you got a long ways to go to start getting stronger, even naturally, but getting buried with 50-pound dumbbells on shoulder press is not one of them. Okay, again, talking about the strength. Obviously, if somebody's taking gear, you can put at least 3 plates on there, maybe 4 or more, right? Doing a plate and a quarter is because, again, that's natty. Good. Pull. Good. Another half rep. Good job. That's it. Again, guys, 1 plate. Okay, this is not a super heavy machine. He's 205 pounds at almost 5'11". So again, if you're on gear, you're gonna do more weight than 1 plate. So just, it is what it is. Ouch. Yes. But this, even for me, is light, right? So it shows you how much room he has to grow before he's gonna actually really start getting strong. So again, only 1 plate. There you go. Lightweight baby. For real. Lightweight baby. Yeah, that's it. All right, so he is absolutely not used to doing these. So 50 pounds, guys. 50 pounds, and I think he did, what, 5 or 6 reps. So again, if you want to know whether or not the guy's clean or not, this is another exercise.
That was a weird one. So I'm very excited to hear and see how many times in this video he mentions the word natural. Maybe we should actually keep a timer on that. Now, you guys might think I hate Julian. You might think I, despise him. Listen, despite the videos that I've made about Julian in the past, I don't hate him. I don't despise him. I don't even know him. But what I can tell you is that I would appreciate if these guys would stop trying to shove the whole natural thing down our throats. Whether we believe it or not, whether I believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. I am sick and tired of hearing it. And when someone defends themselves like this so absurdly and starts to get their coach to defend them in every single video, that starts to look a little bit weird. So I don't really think it's necessary. Listen, you all told the world already that he's natural, right? So just leave it alone. He's even putting it in the title. 19-year-old natural bodybuilder gets destroyed on leg day. Another thing I want to clarify is, in previous videos, we've seen this guy, Julian, lift a lot. And then we've seen him lift like hardly anything. But meanwhile, he's like crying over the weight. Crying during his warm-ups, for God's sakes.
You enjoy watching me get tortured. Y'all enjoying this?
You're just not used to working this hard.
It's entertaining. Every workout with Hany, man, it's just torture, bro.
6, let's get 8.
Come on.
7. Okay, this
Let's go 12, maybe. Yeah.
Go heavier, stop.
Okay.
That's too light for you. And you don't do weighted pull-ups?
I do like 3 plates.
You do 3 plates?
So that's what leads me to believe that something is off about this guy. You got Hany in the last video going out of his way to be like, hey guys, look, he's so freaking weak. He can't lift anything. He has to be natural because he's weak. Listen, man, stop shoving this garbage down people's throats. Hany, I said it in the last video and I'm gonna say it again in this one. I don't give a crap if the guy is on drugs. Stop trying to shove your narrative down people's throats and stop telling people that just because they're not lifting heavy, they have to be natural. Do you have any clue how many people are natural who can lift heavy? So stop the BS. Leave it alone, bro. Leave it alone. You are destroying your own credibility, my man. Anyway, let's get into this video. It's a 47-minute video, so I know all my fans of the 2-hour videos are gonna get super happy about this one. Let's dive in.
All right, guys, I am here with none other than Mr. Natural.
Yo, couldn't go 4 seconds into the video before mentioning he's here with Mr. Natural. Couldn't go 4 seconds. This is pathetic. Bro, let me tell you something, man. When they are fighting tooth and nail, I've already said it. I've already said it a million times. I don't know if the guy is or is not natural, but when they fight tooth or nail like this, you better know that something is up.
What's up, y'all?
Julian Fitzgerald. Are you the second, the third, or are you just Julian? Nah,
Hany, stop your crap. No one gives a crap if he's second, third, first, last. Nobody cares. Stop it, Hany. Stop it. Hany mentioned that Julian was going to be trying to lose some weight, which is, hey, that's all good. That's cool. Of course, with the way his strength has been going lately, I have to say, I don't think he should be trying to lose weight. That's very likely going to just make him weaker. And the last time we saw him train legs, he had to train on the leg press machine with literally 1 plate, 145-pound plate, 1.
You want the good news or you want the bad news?
Bad news, man. What's up?
Okay, the bad news is you're weak at this.
When was the last time you saw somebody train on the leg press machine using 145-pound plate? Absurd, never seen it in my life. A little woman off the street who is untrained can do that. Wild stuff. But anyway, I did notice, however, that he didn't lose weight. In fact, the first second that I turned the video on, not only did Julian look really pissed off and angry for some reason, probably because he knew he was going to be getting more hate, what people want to call hate from people like me who try to tell the truth about his whole natural status and all that crap. But at the same time, I also noticed that he had gained weight. His face looks much more puffy. His face looks much more fat. Now, why does Hany want him to gain weight? Apparently, he's giving him weight gainer. Very interesting. Let's hear more about this.
You gained a little bit because I gave you some super huge. So super huge is our gainer. I ended up giving him that, told him to mix it a little bit with the Isoject.
So they're over here talking about the fact that Julian has been taking weight gainer because he's been working at Amazon, working his butt off, which is great. You know, that's a hard company to work for, let me tell you. My wife used to work there, and the things you hear about it, they're true, guys. They run you into the ground. But he's taking weight gainer in order to get calories in while he's on the go, essentially. So he doesn't have to go crazy worrying about food and missing out on protein and all this stuff, so he's just drinking it. Excellent way to go about doing things. I used to do this at work. It absolutely works. It makes things quick, simple, easy. You don't got to worry too much about meal prep. You can keep the bottle of powder on your truck and things of that nature. So the fact that he visually looks like he gained weight means that he's definitely pounding this stuff, or he's just eating more, or he's doing a lot less work, which I'm not sure. I think with Amazon, you are really genuinely like busting your butt moving around, whether you're in the warehouse or on the street. But hey, at least I know I'm not crazy when I saw on his face that he got a lot more puffy. Hany mentions that Julian could be a lot stronger on some of the lifts. Yeah, Hany. We did, I think, hear you mention that about 8 times during that video. He mentioned it so much that I had people speculating in the comments as to whether or not this is a joke. Are they pretending that Julian is weak so they have the opportunity to then say, oh, well, he's weak, so he can't be on steroids, because according to Hany's first other video, people who are on steroids, they're not weak. No, they're very strong.
You have 3 plates though.
You do 3 plates?
If somebody's taking gear, you can put at least 3 plates on there, maybe 4 or more.
So Julian, he's weak. Look, he can't be on drugs.
Caffeinated pre-workout today, so grape drink. You ready for grape drink?
Yep.
All right, have you tried it?
First of all, it is nasty that Hany wants him to have the grape flavor. That is nasty. And the fact that he called it grape drank, yo, Hany, what are you trying to do over here? But even more so than the grape drink, okay? I feel like Hany said it knowing that it was gonna sound weird. But even more so than the grape drink, this guy is now going to be trying caffeine, which is very interesting. Why is that interesting? I mentioned in another video that this guy doesn't take caffeine. He's in like single digit body fat area, or at least he was the last time I've seen him. And so I'm wondering, where's he getting his energy from? If he's not taking caffeine, his body fat is so freaking low, where's he getting all his energy from? So I was actually thinking, why is this guy not taking caffeine? He claimed that he's not taking caffeine because it feels he has ADHD and it messes with his ADHD. He crashes or something like that. So very interesting choice that now they're deciding the caffeine. The only thing I can think of is Hany's trying to push his supplement line, push different varieties of things with Julian, and that very well might be the case. Let's see how Julian does with the caffeine. Yo, Julian's face, check his face out, man. It looks uncomfortable, man. Now, he doesn't always look very comfortable on camera, but this dude, I think he's feeling the pressure. In the last video, he did mention how he feels cool with everybody messing with him.
Like, I know y'all gonna be hating on that video. It's cool, right? It's cool. Cause look, y'all gonna see how fast the legs grow. And I don't wanna hear nothing in the ear, man, when they blow up to most, oh, he took this, oh, he took that. No, y'all saw it from the jump, so yeah. It's that simple. I already know y'all gonna be hating, bro, it's okay. It's okay.
You have 3 plates though.
You do 3 plates?
If somebody's taking gear, you can put at least 3 plates on there.
He's fine with it, not an issue, but of course, we have to be honest, we're all human beings. And when I hear it too, I get it all the time in the comments. Oh, Joe, you're this, Joe, you're that, your teeth are too white, you're bald. I'm not bald, but you're bald, your teeth are white. And all this crap that I hear, oh, you're on steroids, oh, you need to be on steroids, you're too small. All this crap that I hear in the comments, your neck is too skinny. So I would be lying if I told you guys that didn't get you after a while. You know what I mean? Hearing it day in and day out. So this guy with his uncomfortable look with all the spotlights shining on him, absolutely, he's got to be feeling that heat. And let me tell you guys, I mentioned this in a few videos right now. I got no issue with this guy. The only issue I have is the fact that I don't even care if he claims natural. Claim friggin' natural. I don't care. But the problem is that they are shoving it down people's throats.
Mr. Natural.
Oh, and the fact that before he started training with Hany, you might recall, he was literally telling Larry Wheels how to train because Mr. Julian here believed that he was the king of the world when it came to bodybuilding, and he's going to be the next Chris Bumstead, and he knows everything about training.
All right. Again, y'all want to look up like the entire time, or try to keep your body as straight as possible, because that's what's gonna allow your triceps to go back a little bit. You're gonna kind of get like a little swing with your arms and go back. Try to get a little bit closer to the bar. There you go. And then chin up a little bit. Good. Good. That's what we're looking for right here. This little striation right here. Perfect. Try to keep your head up a little bit. Keep that chin up so you can keep your body straight. There you go. Try to get a little bit closer to the bar. There you go. Kind of lean back a little bit. Yep. Looking for a straight body. Right there.
Yeah,
Perfect.
doesn't feel right, but.
We discovered very shortly after he signed with Hany that he knows nothing, nada, zip about training. And so that's the issue I have with him. I really don't have much of an issue with him otherwise.
To make sure you like, you subscribe, and get into the comments and let us know what you think.
Hany made the mistake right there, man. He says like and subscribe and get into the comments to let us know what you think about this. I went to the comments just now and the first comment reads as natural as Kim Kardashian. Unbelievable, bro. I have to be honest here. I believe that Hany is digging Julian's grave for him at this point. Every time he opens his mouth, he seems to say something that I do believe they will probably regret at some point in time.
All right, guys. So we're doing Apple AQ, boom, and then with the extreme grape.
Honestly, I love grape. It's my favorite flavor, even though it tastes like medicine. You know that classic grape flavor, everybody knows it. It's my favorite. When I drink my flavored water in the packets, it's always grape. That's my favorite. I like grape and orange. This stuff is probably very, very good. I would love to know how much caffeine this man, Julian, is going to be ingesting right now. Very curious. And the reason why is most people, I think it's like 400 milligrams. You're not supposed to have more than 400 in a day, according to the FDA or the, whatever the case is, a health organization or whatever, whoever organizes that. But I do know he's sensitive to caffeine, so maybe he wants to take less. I would love to know how much exactly caffeine he's going to be consuming, because I'm curious to see how that equates to his performance. Caffeine, as you guys know, is a tool. And it's a very effective tool when you train. So I've been saying for quite a while, Julian should try the caffeine, and I'm very happy to see it. And I can't wait to see if his performance is better or worse or just neutral.
What makes AQ different? S7, vitamin C, that's...
Hany's over here telling the audience what makes his supplements different. Now, I'm sure he does this with most of the people he trains with, right? I could be wrong, however, because I really don't watch many of his videos, to be honest. But one thing that I do want to mention is I've been told in the comments many times, and I do actually agree myself, Julian has been such a poor student so far when it comes to training and in general, just horrible. Why did Hany sign him? He must have known in advance that he was weak, that he had no clue what to do, unless he genuinely didn't know and just assumed that this guy was kind of seasoned and that he would be decent for his team. So the only thing I can think of is Hany needed somebody younger to get out to a younger demographic in regards to his supplements. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. You know what I find to be very interesting, and I could be reaching here. The shirt looks extremely baggy. I don't know if that's just happenstance or on purpose. You can see Julian drinking his drink here, the pre-workout. The shirt looks extremely baggy, if I remember correctly, way more baggy than previous shirts that he's wore from Hany's brand Evogen. The only reason why I could imagine that would be possibly, maybe he likes baggy clothes, maybe he does, but I'm noticing what I believe to be a trend. If he takes his shirt off later, I was wrong, which he very well might take his shirt off later. But he's over here very weak in comparison to some other lifts that we've seen him do. Now all of a sudden he's wearing baggier clothes. Could it possibly be that he's trying to cover up his physique a little bit, trying to backstep a little bit in order to take a little bit of eyes off him? Because let me tell you, other than his arms, at this point in time, with him wearing this baggy of a shirt in comparison to some other shirts I've seen him in with where they were tighter, he does actually look way smaller in terms of muscle mass. Not that he looks small, trust me, but in comparison. So I'm wondering if there's somehow trying to backstep things. Something I feel is weird is going on. I just don't feel the vibe here. And again, I could be wrong. It's very early in the video and I have not watched this video yet.
Now we're gonna have to check the legs, the before the pump. Let's get in there. And this is how the before the pump is gonna look, right here.
Hany's gonna be talking about the pre-workout leg look, right? He's gonna be inspecting Julian's legs in advance. Now, I have not seen him do this to Julian in the other videos that he's done with him yet. I'm happy about that. Why? He mentioned in one of his previous videos, take a look at Julian's rear delt. It looks like it's grown already.
2, 3. Good job. Excellent. All right, guys. So I was alluding to is the rear delt. So his rear delt right here, bring your elbow back, right in there. That actually feels, this is like hyper responder, right? Hyper responder, right? Hyper responder, right? These, when you have amazing genetics, you have standout body parts.
And it appears like he is a hyper responder to training. Strangely enough, in the beginning of the video, Hany said, no, he's just a hyper responder with his biceps. That's how natural people are. They have one standout body part all the time, and for him, it's his biceps. The rest of his body is relatively normal. Few minutes later, he's doing rear delt. Oh, it looks like it's grown already. He must be a hyper responder for that too. But I'm glad that he's looking into the unpumped legs, size, what they look like, because that's gonna give us a good indicator. I mentioned in that other video that Hany kind of did, in my opinion, not a great thing when he decided to check out Julian's like size and his shape and what he looks like after he was pumped. It's kind of counterintuitive unless you're solely only going to be looking at him when he's pumped, which is not going to be the case. You want to see somebody before they're pumped to get an idea, is there a real change going on? Because when there's a huge pump, you can't really tell all the time what's going on. Are they growing? Are they not growing? You know what I mean. I don't even want to hear what Hany has to say yet. I want to mention to you guys, this is, I believe, the really first time that we've seen Julian's legs like this on camera. Now, I can tell you, based on some previous videos where Julian had shorts on, I believe it was the other leg day video where he trained with Hany, his teardrops, his quads, the lower part where it teardrops by the knee, it certainly did not look as visible by any means. Now, this guy's only been training with Hany legs, or legs in general, really, because he admitted he doesn't train legs. He's only really been training with Hany for like, I don't know, a couple months at best, maybe less. Or already we're seeing the teardrops coming in, which is, he looks great. His legs look fantastic. However, I want to mention that in the last video, he said, hey guys, you're going to see these legs grow, and trust me when I tell you it's going to be fast, and I better not hear, oh, it's steroids, because you're seeing me do the work. You're seeing me put in the work, so you know it's not from steroids.
And again, you were
excited for the legs, man.
Yeah.
People like I know y'all gonna, bruh, I know y'all gonna be hating on that video. It's cool, right? It's cool. Cause look, y'all gonna see how fast the legs grow. And I want to hear nothing in the ear, man, when they blow up to oh, he took this, oh, he took that. No, y'all saw it from the jump, so yeah.
Which I called out as being crap, because now you're telling me that people on steroids don't have to exercise, you just sit down and you just gain all this muscle, which is, it's not true. It's not true. You have to do something in order to get some kind of a result. So whether he's on drugs or not, I can't say. I have zero proof, so I'm not gonna go slandering the guy by saying he is or not, because I don't have that proof. But I can tell you that the fact that he was so confident that his legs were gonna grow and fast, and the fact that he said, and because you see me training my legs, you better know it's not steroids, that's a bunch of garbage. We can see that Julian's calves are very, very thin. I can't say nothing. My calves suck. I mean, I wish my calves were much bigger. Urs Kalasinski has some amazing calves, but we can see his calves are very, very thin. Going up towards the quad and the hamstrings, they're thicker. But the definition does seem to be coming in way more than what I've seen at a glance in the past. Remember, lighting is going to change things, the way people look and all that stuff. We've never seen him under lighting like this before. So maybe his legs have looked like this for a while, but I really don't think so. We've seen his legs in the past, and from what I could tell, zero teardrop on his legs.
Genetically blessed up here, not so much down here. So again, now it's time to try to balance that out.
We can see Hany goes out of his way to say genetically blessed up here on the top of his body, not so much down there. I guarantee you within the next few videos, he's gonna start to say he's genetically blessed everywhere. He is making it a trend by pointing out certain body parts on Julian, saying, oh, he's genetically blessed here, but not over here, here, but not over here. By the time he's done, he's not even gonna realize that he said he's genetically blessed everywhere, which means he's just genetically blessed in general, or the supplements that he takes are just really, really working.
Yeah, that is the case.
Boom, look at, oh, it's okay.
I'm not saying that Hany doesn't have muscle on his legs, but I feel like he put his pants leg down really quickly, probably because his legs ain't gonna be looking too good, very likely. He's more focused these days on work, and so what happens when you're more focused on work, your health gets put off to the side, you train less, you look less good. I did see a little bit of a rip in there when he lifted his pants leg up, but honestly, it didn't look too impressive from what I saw, but that's totally cool. He's probably got better legs than me. I'll give it to him. But I can tell you, Julian's legs do seem to be changing, and they do seem to be changing quickly. I will try to find some clips and show you guys those legs. You let me know. Did his legs always look like this? Or are they changing very quickly? We can see that Julian is over here training his hamstrings. I didn't see them warm up. I don't know if this is a warm-up or if this is not a warm-up. I took a look at the weight stack and I can't really tell, but it seems like he might have like 10 or 15 plates on there, something like that. Judging by the way he's breathing, I want to assume that this is not a warm-up, and so did they skip the warm-up? That's kind of strange. We've seen them cover the warm-ups in the past. I don't know, I'm just mentioning this for you. It might be important later.
Good job. We'll rest up, we'll do about a minute rest, then we'll go ahead, add some more weight, and then start getting into working.
So Julian mentions that, and they are in fact on their warm-up. So he started off at I think 77 pounds on his warm-up, which is actually pretty damn good for a warm-up weight. Now, I feel like it was way too heavy because if you listen to him breathing, it sounds very, very pronounced. It sounds like he's even struggling a little bit.
Curl machine, my favorite hamstring curl machine because the biomechanics are so good. The knees are lined up right with that center joint. Is good. Good. You want to go right before it touches. Back up. Don't touch. Just go back all the way right there and back up. Excellent. Good. 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 Remember, go all the way. There you go. Good. Just two more. Good. One more. Good job. We'll rest up. We'll do about a minute rest. Then we'll go ahead, add some more weight, and start getting into working sets.
You know what's crazy? I don't remember exactly what weight I did last time, but I'm pretty sure I'll be doing more than I did last time.
I think it's pretty close. I think that's where you maxed out at last time.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's growth.
That's all I told you.
Obviously, he's gotten stronger, which is great. I'm just waiting for the day where Hany says, oh yeah, but you can be strong and not be on steroids.
Talking about the strength. Obviously, if somebody's taking gear, you can put at least 3 plates on there, maybe 4 or more.
Which is the exact opposite that he just said in the other video. It's bound to happen, guys. It's bound to happen. He's going to be contradicting himself left and right over here. But I do find it interesting to see that he's actually starting off warm-up with the weight that he maxed out last time, which that seems a little weird. Strength can come very quickly. It's true. When you start to train for strength, your body can adapt very, very quickly. It's amazing, in fact. But the fact that he's using his working set the last time as a warm-up this time does seem like quite a large change very, very quickly.
What would be hard to do is like kind of matching the intensity without, you being there, somebody being there to push me.
I mentioned in the last video that Julian, it's half on the coach, it's half on the student, the client, right? Julian mentioned that while he's with Hany, he does pretty good and he can push himself because he has Hany pushing him. But when Hany's not there, is he going to really train as hard as well? That's another story. Like I said, it's like 50% on the coach, 50% on that student. So only time will tell, but I'm glad to see that he sees that, because he's mentioned it in the past, he's not a worker. He's not a worker. He's not accustomed to knowing what bodybuilding is like, which makes his physique insane. And therefore, since he trains like a literal beginner, I feel like when he goes to train by himself, he's going to be missing out on a lot of the stuff that he's supposed to be doing. And now Hany's over here talking about plugging away on his FST7 app, I believe. So now I'm just starting to think that what Julian mentioned was a setup for this ad, because he literally went right into the spiel. So when Julian mentioned,
What would be hard to do is like kind of matching the intensity without, you being there, somebody being there to push me.
Okay.
So I guess like building that mental fortitude now is going to help a little bit.
Yep.
it appears that he was actually trying to set up Hany for this advertisement. Because apparently these FST7 programs are ways for you to intensify, they're intensifying ways that you can use when you don't have someone with you. So it would appear that he only did literally one warm-up set of like, 12 reps or something like that, at a weight where he was actually kind of huffing on.
Good. Good. You want to go right before it touches. Back up. Don't touch. Just go back all the way right.
So far, now he's increasing the weight a bit for apparently his working set. He just said for his working set. I think the warm-up weight was too too heavy. I think the warm-up weight was too heavy. And I think he should be doing more warm-up, just a little bit, before they jump right into the working set.
Burger King, at least it molded a bit. It got moldy. Then the third one was Five Guys, and it was the worst because it...
Notice here, Hany's talking to the camera about burgers, while Julian is taking advantage of that by not bringing his legs down on this movement slowly. We know that an intensifier and also an incredibly efficient muscle builder is slower eccentrics. They don't have to be 4 or 5 second eccentrics. You're talking about maybe double the time that it takes you to bring it up. That's how long it takes you to bring it down. Something along those lines, maybe just a second more than double. But we can see Julian taking advantage of big man Hany over here, wasting his time talking about burgers. So Julian's getting away with murder. What we've noticed in the past is Julian takes every chance to cheat that he can. Slower eccentrics are an intensifier. They are there so that you can push yourself, and you don't need another person to do that. Slower eccentrics, the rest pause method, all these different things that exist are intensifiers. So Julian's over here dropping his legs, zero eccentric control on this movement. He could be doing way better than that. But we also have to see if we can spot Julian taking a rest pause after every rep, because he's also notorious for taking every opportunity he can to drop the weight, literally put it down, rest a second, and then do another rep. So this guy's a sneaky one over here, always looking for a chance to try to make it easier on himself. Notice here, Hany is helping him up on the concentric portion with his legs. That is another version of an intensifier, except that's an intensifier with help from someone else.
Then you can be able to compare and contrast what you're doing versus Natty Guy.
Second time, where Hany takes another opportunity to call Julian the Natty Guy. And he also goes and tells you that you shouldn't be comparing what weights you're doing to him, which is true. You really shouldn't be, because every piece of equipment is in fact different. Absolutely. What he said there about all the equipment being different, absolutely, it's true. There's no denying it. So he's trying to tell people, hey, don't be like, I do 400 pounds on my lift. He's only doing 100 pounds. He should be able to do a lot more. It's true. You really shouldn't. You can, however, in the context of Julian specifically, say, I saw him do a 400-pound row when he was hanging out with Jeff Nippard. Then on practically the same exact damn machine over at Hany's place, he can't even do 2 plates aside, maybe not even 1 plate aside if I remember correctly. So in the context of Julian, oh, you certainly can. You certainly can judge in regards to that. In regards to you, completely different. In regards to the equipment, absolutely, the equipment makes a difference. But when you're doing a seated row on a seated row machine, and you take a look at both pieces of equipment, and you can see on screen he's doing 400 pounds on one machine, and then he can barely do a plate aside on the other one. Don't tell me it's the equipment. It's not the equipment, Hany. It's not. You're covering for this guy. And you're recording it. So everybody's gonna see all the little intricacies with your hypocrisy. When Julian was doing what appeared to be his second working set here, for some reason, Hany was allowing him to get away with just dropping that eccentric. Maybe it's because he wanted him to be able to have more reps in order to do more, but sometimes he seems to be calling him out, sometimes he seems to not be. I would want to see a better eccentric every chance I got.
A lot of different clinical studies have been shown to if you do too much stretching, it can actually hinder performance before you train. So
Hany mentions that studies have shown that stretching in advance of training is actually detrimental. It is. It absolutely is. The interesting thing is, like, I want to say 15 years ago, I noticed that myself. I heard that stretching was important before you trained. So what did I do? I would go ahead and stretch and then I would train. But I started to realize that my muscles would gas out very quickly. And I wasn't as strong as if I didn't stretch. Now, stretching and warming up are two completely different things. Warming up on a lighter weight with perhaps the movement that you intend on doing, like what we saw Julian do here when he was warming up and then he worked right into a working set, that's different than actually stretching out the muscle. So what studies have been showing for many years, and I just think it's so cool that I realized this when I was so much younger, was that when you stretch out your muscle in advance of training, even if it's not even that crazy of a stretch, like Hany said, it's more important to stretch after and less good to stretch before. If I recall the studies that I read correctly, you shouldn't be stretching at all, just warm up. In advance, don't stretch. because that stretching is going to actually take the elasticity out of your muscle because you're loosening the muscle to a point where you're making it like a rubber band, right? You're stretching it out, and just imagine that rubber band losing tension, okay, over time. Same thing happens with your muscle. When you're warming up with tension. So you're building the tension in the muscle rather than tearing the muscle down. Sure, you're getting your muscle warm, you're getting blood in there, but it's being conditioned to work. The stretching is actually doing the opposite. It's not conditioning it to work. So guys, I recommend try what you want to try, do what you want to do, check the studies out for yourself, believe what you want to believe. Everybody has a right to train and do whatever they want, and everyone's circumstances are different. Maybe you have pain, and so you feel like I have to stretch. Do your thing. But I'm just saying in general, based on the studies that have been coming out, like Hany said, it is actually not advantageous to stretch in advance of weight training, whereas stretching after is totally fine. Personally, I don't stretch afterwards. If you're prone to cramping, you might want to drink more salt, have more electrolytes, and perhaps stretch.
Okay, too heavy. Okay, lighten it up by 2.
We can see Hany telling Julian that it was too heavy because he's starting on his 3rd set of these hamstring curls. And he was only able to get 2 reps out. So because he was only able to do 2 reps, Hany is now saying, go ahead, drop that weight. He's doing a drop set now, lowering that weight so he can continue going on a lower weight. Now, I'm just gonna guess because I paused the video, I'm gonna guess he gets about maybe 4 more reps. I just wanna see if I'm right. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And we'll elaborate depending on what happens.
Come on, toughen it up. Let's go, go, go. Good, go. Good, go. Come on. Okay, lighten it up again.
4. He got 4. He got 4. Why am I mentioning this? I've mentioned this to you guys in the past that when you do drop sets, because I get asked a lot, are drop sets great? Are they good? We see that Urs Kalasinski is a big fan of drop sets. Are they necessary? They are certainly not necessary. I mean, you could do them. You don't need them, but they're not bad. They're very good, in fact. They're very good. As you can see, he got 4 more reps. But what I've told you guys in the past and what I called it before it even happened here, he got 4 more reps, and they were 4 more like crappy reps. they weren't the best of reps. So what I recommend to you guys is you don't even have to do drop sets. If you really, really want to mechanically burn out that muscle, go ahead. But my recommendation to you would be go ahead and train to failure on all your sets, but give yourself a substantial enough rest in advance before you start again, okay? Because every time I've ever done drop sets, I'm only able to get like another 4, and those reps were pretty crappy. They didn't do much for me. So I find more value in keeping it the same weight, resting a little more, and pumping out more at the higher weight. Can I prove that my method is better? No, I'm just saying you don't necessarily have to do drop sets, especially if you are truly resting like you're supposed to, maybe 2-3 minutes. I think Julian's only been resting for 1 minute. Maybe Hany doesn't have enough time today because they did mention earlier he's going to rest for 1 minute. So that's why I'm saying that. Maybe Hany doesn't have enough time today. Maybe they want to hit a whole bunch of different machines, whatever the case is. I also find it interesting he's only doing 3 sets on here because I believe Hany said that this is going to be his 3rd and last set. So I find all this stuff interesting. But in general, if you're training a body part, I recommend give it enough rest. You don't necessarily have to do drop sets because you're probably going to only be able to push out another 4 before you have to lower the weight again. And now you're training at a lower weight. And yeah, you're mechanically burning out your body, but you're doing it at a less so weight. I always say the muscle is like a phone. If you charge it for only 30 seconds to a minute, you're only going to get a minute worth of power. But if you charge it for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you're going to get 3 or 4 minutes worth of power. So set yourself up for the best you can. Charge yourself up after every set, destroy yourself back down to 0%, and then rest again and bring it back again. Now, I also want to mention that I do believe that Julian warmed up like way too heavy. Why? First of all, his breathing was very heavy. Second of all, he started off with the same weight that he was on, maxing out on the last time, which I don't care if you got stronger, but things don't typically work like that, especially not for a newbie like this. He's very new and he's very weak based on what they've been telling us and showing us, right? So another thing that leads me to believe he started off on too heavy of a weight was the fact that he burned out so quick. By the second set, he was burning out, I think by like the 4th rep or something like that, 5th rep. That's too soon. That's too soon. The better your warm-ups are, guys, whether I'm right or wrong about what I'm saying about him, because I'm not there, it's hard to tell. I'm just giving you my observations. Whether I'm right or wrong, your warm-up set is going to determine how much and how well you lift that day. So if you don't like warming up, I totally get it. Many people don't, but I recommend warming up nice and light, moving to heavy, getting into your working set. The better your warm-up is, you're not looking to get yourself tired. Like he was getting himself on his warm-up, he was getting tired, literally tired. You're not supposed to be getting yourself tired on your warm-up, just blood into the muscle. Okay? If you warm up too heavy, it's not a warm up. You're shutting your body down in advance. If he did a proper warm up, he'd be able to do way more reps, way more weight overall, and way more sets.
Up. Good. Good.
He was able, after lightening it up another 2, drop setting it again to only get 2.5 reps. So you guys let me know what you think about this. But I do genuinely believe, I'm telling you guys right now, my opinion is he's not getting much out of this. He's not getting much out of this. So far, he's got 6, maybe 6 reps, 6 more reps using the drop set method on a lighter weight. Bro, just rest for 3 minutes and give it another solid set with the full amount of weight straight to failure.
When you can't hit that 10 to 12 rep range, or even if it's just as low as 8, then you want to be able to cut the weight down, do a drop.
Hany says here that you want to go ahead if you can't get as high as 10 to 12 reps. Then he corrected himself because he noticed, I don't think Julian's done more than 8 reps this entire time. Not that that's wrong, but he said even as low as 8, what you want to do is, and by the way, guys, he's looking for muscle hypertrophy. In my personal recommendation, I think he should be going at higher reps personally, but I'm not going to debate with you guys. That's just my opinion. I'm here to tell you guys what I think. I think you should be doing a bit higher of a rep range and very likely more sets than just 3. But that's another story. We can see here Hany saying do drop sets. If you can't get more than 10 to 12 reps, he said initially, do drop sets to get yourself into that range. What's something else you can do? You can also warm up properly. If you warm up properly, if he warmed up properly on the right weight, this guy would have been able to do more. There's no question in my mind. He was huffing and puffing on his warm-up set. That's not supposed to happen. But also another thing you could do is instead of doing just a drop set, you can keep the weight the same and do a rest pause. What is that? That is what Julian does. He puts the weight down, gives it a couple seconds, does another rep.
Good. And drive. Good. Good. Keep your chest up so you stretch a little bit more without having to put the weights back and losing tension. Keep the tension on there.
Puts the weight down, give it a couple seconds, do another rep. You can do that as well.
How many workouts have you done for that hamstring since the last time I trained you?
One other one, so it's like
1.
3. Yeah, so 3 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 with me, 1 without me, and this is our 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Julian's schedule is like. I don't know what their recording schedule is like. I believe the first leg video they came out with was like over a month ago. So the fact that he's only trained by himself on one of those machines one time since the other time that he trained with Hany, so he's only done this 3 times in his life, literally. I don't think that's too much. I feel like he needs to try to be able to train more often. But I mean, again, I don't know his schedule. I don't know anything about his life. But I find that to be a very subpar amount of training. That means, if I recall correctly, within a month's period, you trained your hamstrings twice. That's insane.
So that he can increase intensity even by training alone.
It's very weird that they haven't had music in their video yet. Typically they have music, don't they? Over here, he's doing the belt squat. I really like this belt squat machine. It looks very comfortable, it looks very nice, and it looks like it can give you a really great stretch at the bottom where your butt is. You can really bring your butt down. You can really stretch out those glutes, stretch out everything. It looks like a really nice piece of equipment.
Now, what we're doing is we're trying to give him full range of motion so he really be able to accentuate glute ham, not hitting just parallel, but actually going full range of motion, but the knees are not traveling too far in front of the toes. They're just right above the toes, getting deep and back up. Excellent, good.
I feel like even resting, it's like a little bit of tension in there. Okay.
What the heck, man? Did you hear what? I don't know what Julian said. Did you guys understand what Julian said? I don't understand what he said, but I can say Hany doesn't seem to give a crap. Did you hear Hany? This dude has a habit of every time Julian talks and says something, he ends up just going, hey, okay, let's move on. We've seen this in so many videos already. It's so weird. I kind of feel bad for Julian. It's kind of like he wants to build a relationship and like, you know, share stuff with his coach. And the coach is like, hey, okay, let's go to the next thing.
I just felt like a little zap. I don't know what that was. Like a little tase. That was awesome.
All right, let's do the next exercise.
I feel weird, like on my back and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing it right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the next movement. You did a good job. Time to get those legs to grow.
Notice here, Hany said it's time to get those legs to grow. I am not telling you guys that his legs won't grow from these squats, but I can tell you that there's very, in my opinion, better exercises. He should be doing more training on the hamstring machine and more training on the leg extension, okay? That's my personal opinion. You let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I do believe he should be doing more of those two machines. Those are isolated, they're targeted, the range of motion is guaranteed. It's less of a compound movement, so he can really focus on the growth. And so I feel if he's gonna be doing squats, he should probably be doing them later on at the end, if anything, and doing like the hamstring curls, the leg hamstring extensions, the quad extensions, those things in advance of something like this.
All right, that was the second warm-up. So we did one plate, first warm-up, 2 plates, second warm-up. Now it's time to throw on another plate so we can actually start doing some working sets.
All right, so we see here that these were just the warm-ups, so just keep that in mind. Now he's gonna be throwing a third plate, 3 on each side, in order to do these squats. Notice here, we have Julian asking something along the lines of, do you think I should be in classic, or what do you think, you know, division I should be in when it comes to bodybuilding? And Hany says he believes he's more of an open guy.
I think you have a more open physique.
Now, notice the smile that came onto Julian's face. Just look at that face. I know he wants classic, but he is very happy that he was just told that he looks more of like an open guy, because open guys are so much bigger than classic. So he just got a huge compliment from his coach over here.
I'm not against open. I'm not against either one. It's just when I see open, this them guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Notice here, Hany calls out Julian for putting the weight down. Now, the way Hany says it is, stop right here, keep constant tension. But really, in reality, Julian knows that he shouldn't be putting the weight down. He's simply doing it anyway to give himself a rest. That's what we've seen him do many, many times. He was doing this back when he was training with Larry Wheels, when he was pretending to show Larry Wheels how to do the tricep extension. He was literally putting the weight down. That was when Larry was like rolling his eyes into the back of his head.
Good.
because Larry saw that this guy had no clue what he's doing. So like I said, he cheats every chance he gets. And that's why so many times in the comments, you guys are saying, Joe, do you think this guy can actually pull off bodybuilding at all? Do you think he could actually pull it off? And I tell you guys, I really don't know, because he doesn't seem like he's really made for it.
Up. You got one more. You can do this. Good. Big legs on stage. One last one. Show everyone. Everyone's watching.
Notice here how Hany said, all right, you got 3 more, you got 1 more, you got anything left. Notice, I'm actually very impressed. Hany was saying, look, you only got this many left. Julian could have stopped, but he didn't. He didn't stop. He seemed to continue to go to what he knows is failure, which is unbelievable. Because we saw in other videos when he was training with Hany, that when Hany said, okay, you got 3 left, he would stop at that 3, even if he could still go. We noticed that in other videos, he would, as soon as the set would start, he would immediately ask, how many do I got? How many reps do I got?
Good. Chest up, good form. Good, right to the bottom. Without touching, right there, back up. There you go. Keep constant tension. Good. Let's go. Good. It's time to build up that lower body. Good. Keep going. Good, there you go. Come on, you got 3, go. Show me, go. 1, you got this. No help. Everybody's watching. All the way up. Up. You got one more. You can do this. Good. Big legs on stage. One last one. Show everyone. Everyone's watching. Drive it up. Good job. And up. Yeah, easy. Last one. You got it. Good. Now you're feeling it, getting through the pain. Good. Now you feel like you're getting through that pain. You got one more? That's it.
Because he's afraid of doing work. You saw he was just putting the weight down to give himself a rest. But what did he do here? He went ahead and pushed himself. Hany didn't even do it. He pushed himself till absolute failure on this. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Good for you, Julian. Bro, you're getting it, man. You're getting it. I'm so happy to see this. Look over here. Julian's bicep looks literally like the size of his head. It almost looks like he has a second head right next to his head.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Insane. And with the shirt he's wearing, let me tell you, that shirt is covering up so much of his mass because it's very baggy, that today he looks like he's just predominantly bicep. Now, I do find something strange, and I would be a hypocrite if I did not call this out. We know that when Julian has a tank top on or his shirt off, not only does he look gigantic, he is gigantic. The guy is over 200 pounds, and I think it was 5'11", 5'10", something along those lines. So clearly he has lots of muscle and very low body fat. But I must say, I am actually a little bit shocked. I've spoken to this about you guys in the past. When natural people wear a shirt, they look like they have hardly any muscle, okay? Of course, depends on the size of the shirt and things of that nature, but typically even a normal size shirt on a natural person will cause them to look like they are, like they don't even lift. Jeff Nippard, when he took his shirt off, when he was doing that video with Jesse James West that we just covered.
You going shirtless?
I was going to. I mean,
Nothing like 2 bros just getting shredded and half naked. I love it.
I'm gonna flick the lights back on.
Yeah.
Put your shirt on quick.
When he took his shirt off, you saw that this guy was pretty damn big. But as soon as he put his shirt back on, he looked like he was a twig. It was unbelievable. So, and granted, that was a baggy shirt, but if he was in a regular size shirt, he would still look like that. Julian actually genuinely today in this shirt, in this more baggy shirt, looks like if his biceps were like removed from his body, he actually looks like he could be relatively natural. I'm not saying he is. If I'm gonna call out a lot of the other stuff, I have to be honest and call out when I see what I see. And shockingly, this shirt on him is making me think like, oh, does he actually have that natty problem where when you put a shirt on, you look like you have no muscle? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Look at his body here in this shirt. Take a look at him. If you chop those biceps off, he would look relatively normal, which is insane. Again, I have to be honest with you guys. He looks way smaller. He looks way smaller. And I've seen him in t-shirts before. I have. I've never seen this though. Am I crazy, guys? You tell me, did he lose mass? Not in his biceps, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe he'll take his shirt off later and we'll find out. I don't know. We can see Julian over here talking about how he saw Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and all these guys training and the intensity that they put into it. And then watching them go do their shows and things of that nature, how inspiring it was for him and things of that nature. And he's talking about how when he goes down the same path, what it's gonna be like. Yo, this guy's got it in his head, man. Because like I said, we keep saying in the comments, is he gonna make it? Is he strong enough to make it? Is he willing to put in what needs to be put in order to make it? He's talking about it like he is sure that he's going to make it. I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. I want to see him make it. I want him to learn what hard work is, and I want him to learn what it takes, and I want him to do it. And hey, he's doing it. He's here. He's showing up. He may have only trained his hamstrings once in the last month, but he's showing up at least. You guys let me know in the comments. Do you think he's going to make it based on what you guys see right now? We can see Julian over here. He's doing, it looks like 4 plates aside, which in my opinion, it's pretty absurd. Because in one of the last videos where he was doing legs, if I recall correctly, he could barely be doing on a squat like 2 plates aside or something along those lines. I've said this many times already, and I'm just gonna say it again. Something weird is going on with his weights. Heavy, stupid light because he can't do it. Heavy, stupid light because he can't do it. Something weird is going on. And I know it's not just me because you guys have been calling it out too. We can see Julian over here flexing the legs, and his legs look way better. I'm telling you guys, they've improved a lot. And again, we haven't seen much of his legs in the past, but I can tell you those teardrops, they're forming at the bottom by the knee. They were not there before. We've seen his legs in shorts in the past. They never looked like this. And then again, he never did flex like this in the past that I recall. But I remember seeing his legs. They were smooth. They looked like swimmer's legs. And now look at this insane definition compared to what he used to be, of course. Not great definition, but insane compared to what he used to be. And the mass is showing. Incredible. This guy needs to pull back down his shorts. It's looking a little weird with the long t-shirt and the shorts. Pull those things back down, please, bro.
So again, when those people ask out there, oh, is he taking drugs? Is he doing this? It's gotta be. Look, he's never been to a bodybuilding show. He is just starting to understand bodybuilding.
Hany, again, stayed shoving down people's throat. This guy's not on drugs. He's never been to a bodybuilding show. So, he can't be on drugs. He's never been to a bodybuilding show. We have Hany going here again, shoving it down your throat. You never saw a video of Phil Heath. You never saw a video of Flex Wheeler. So you can't be on steroids. Bro, what the hell does that have to do with anything? You are destroying your credibility. What is wrong with you, bro? What is wrong with you? Dude, you're destroying your credibility. Telling people that because he's never been to a bodybuilding show, he's never done anything? Because he's never seen a video of pro bodybuilders before, which is bull crap, bro. Crap that he hasn't done drugs. Most people who are on steroids have never been to a bodybuilding show. What? Get the hell out of here, man. I'm telling you, I don't care. Stop saying it. Stop putting it in every single title of your video. You are making yourself look suspect.
First person that got me into it was Arnold. Because Arnold was a classic.
Yeah, Arnold is Arnold. He definitely is Arnold. I mean, he got me into training. I think Arnold is responsible for most of the world having gotten into training, to be honest. So now Hany is telling us, look, I'm not with him 24/7. I don't really know. Are people willing to lie and cheat? Sure, but I know really good genetics. Go take a look at these guys' arms in advance of when they were on steroids. Look, dude, just stop talking about it. I get what you're saying. I respect what you're saying. I respected it the first 1,000 times you said it. Just stop it already. Just please stop it. Why do you keep talking about it? You are making him look worse. You, bro, Hany, are making him look worse. Telling people, oh, if you're natural, then you're not strong. Oh, he's an outlier only with his biceps, but now all of a sudden the rest of his body is an outlier. All the things you've been saying over the last few videos with this guy, you are digging his grave and you are dumping the dirt on top of him. Just stop, bro. You're not really helping. I know you're trying to help, but you're not doing a good job. You're not doing a good job. Just train the kid.
Never done straight leg deadlifts before.
Oh, he's never done straight-legged deadlifts before, so he's got to be natural, right, Hany? He's got to be natural. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. So we can see this guy's arms are twitching, and apparently, according to Hany, it's because he's not used to using, I don't know. It's weird how he's not used to his arms twitching. He doesn't know what cramping up is, essentially. And again, that goes back to it being strange. How did you build that body, bro? Things don't make sense, guys. 400 pounds on a row. The next time you see him do a row, he can't do one plate on each side. That whole last video, he was so weak. Hany kept saying, look how weak he is. Look how weak he is. Now in this video, Hany's not going around saying, look how weak he is. And he's lifting way more heavy this time. But admittedly, he's only trained legs, I believe. I'm assuming legs in general, only like one time since the last time you saw Hany. So again, what the hell is going on with this guy? I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't make sense. And another thing that just popped into my head is he's doing a lot more weight today. Perhaps that has something to do with the caffeine. The last few times that we saw him training without the caffeine were those times where he was just very weak and like not doing very well. So maybe that has something to do with it. When you are doing straight-legged deadlifts like he is doing, that does, even though it's not a lot of weight, put a lot of stress on your forearms. So I am going to go out on a limb and be like, this guy has not really done these ever because his forearms are clearly not used to it. And if you do compare his forearms, like a lot of his body parts, to his biceps, they do look up like a substantial amount smaller. But his forearms specifically, they just look very small to the point where a lot of you guys have said, oh, it's synthol, it's got to be synthol. I find this to be very strange. First, in the beginning, he was doing a laying hamstring curl. Now he's doing a seated hamstring curl. And while I am aware that there are slight nuances in both, they're both very much the same at the same time. So I don't really understand hamstring curl, belt squat, hamstring curl. That's what we're seeing here. I don't really get it. Do you guys know? Maybe my brain's not working. It's been a very long day and I'm tired, so sometimes my brain doesn't work, admittedly. So you guys tell me, what do you guys see here? What's the strategy? Notice something. Julian is not counting up. He's counting down. I mentioned to you guys in a previous video recently that if you guys struggle with doing reps mentally, which can impact your physical if you allow it to, rather than count up on how many you're doing, count down. Now, I did have, and keep that in mind, this gentleman Julian does in fact struggle with mental affecting his physical. He gives up well in advance for anything that he's doing. And so he's counting down. So this is proof to me that yes, it is way easier to count down than up in order to get your body to do what you want it to do. Now, someone then told me in the comments, well, if you're counting down, once you hit 0 and want to keep going, then you have to start counting in negatives, and that's going to be annoying. And I told that person, well, in that instance, you would just start counting up at that point, because really, how much more are you going to do? So you're going to end up hitting 1, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Start counting up.
3, 2, 1 more. 1 more. Come on, pull. You got this. Pull. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I love seeing this. Julian seems like he's really giving it his all today. He's not wimping out. He's pushing through these reps. I love to see it. I love to see it. It really looks like he's trying hard. Now, I'm going to be 100% with you. I still do believe that Hany is going very light on him. I'm not saying what he's doing throughout this workout is like necessarily very labor intensive, but for him, I believe it is. For Julian, I believe it is. And therefore, I'm very, very impressed and very happy to see that he's not complaining. Usually he complains. He's bitching and moaning. Oh, you know, I'm tired and it's already my warm-up and you're torturing me and all this crap. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. I am so happy to see the mental and emotional as well as the physical growth. So Hany just went over the movements of what they did today. And honestly, I don't feel like this was that great of a leg workout day. Now, something that might be going on, maybe, but I don't think so, is that he's trying to show him a variety of movements. So when he's with himself, he knows certain things, what to do, different movements or whatever. But I don't necessarily think that that's the case, and the reason why is because, well, he mentioned specifically that the straight leg deadlift was the only movement he's ever done here. These other movements he's done before. So this was kind of a weird leg workout to me. I feel like if you want size, there's a way better things you could be doing with your time, but who am I? You let me know what you think in the comments.
Does you notice? Not genetically gifted. Gifted? Not so gifted.
Hany's over here saying, see this? Genetically gifted, looking at the arms and then pointing at the calves, not genetically gifted. He did the same thing with the deltoid until he trained deltoids once and he goes, hey, I think it grew already. You must be genetically gifted over there. When you see Julian's calves blow up like friggin' balloons and Hany starts saying, well, yeah, he's genetically gifted in general, keep that in mind because he likes to call out at different things. Oh, yeah, he's genetically gifted here and not here and things of that nature. He needs to stop talking in absolutes. Hany, stop talking in absolutes. The reason why, I'm going to tell you right now why Julian is not genetically gifted, it has nothing to do with being genetically gifted. He doesn't train his calves, bro. He doesn't train. Before he met you, he trained nothing. He did bench press. He did like biceps curls. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. We know this because in every single video, I call it out. Every time you say, do you train with this? Do you do this movement, this movement, this movement? Do you train this body part, this body part, this body part? He always says no.
Sorry, guys.
Bro, my lower back is like done.
Yeah, his lower back is fried because, again, these are all new. I think, what are the exercises you normally do on back? Maybe some low...
I did the little lat pull downs.
Okay.
A lot of pull-ups, like weighted pull-ups and stuff like that.
And then maybe some cable rows, maybe, or no?
I just started doing that again. We didn't have cable rows at the class.
Oh, okay. What else are you used to doing?
I do hip abductors.
Okay.
Well, I just started that when I got back from school because they didn't have that machine.
Okay.
So I've been doing hip abductors.
Is there a reason why you don't do any leg press?
Huh?
Is there a reason why you don't do leg press?
Oh, I just did squat. I thought it was the same.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was
You
the
got to
same,
work
so
the
it's just
different angles, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna work the muscle differently. Julian, are you used to doing these?
No, I'm not.
Good. But I guarantee you, he knows where the curl bar is.
And blames, oh yeah, my gym doesn't have that machine or whatever. Oh, I didn't think that I had to do leg press because I do abductors. He's literally said this. So don't tell me he's not genetically gifted on calves. It's because he doesn't train his calves. You keep speaking in absolutes, you keep making excuses, and this is not what you're supposed to do. You're trying to force a narrative. Just shut up and train the guy. Just shut up. Shut up. You're making him look stupid at this point. He's not making himself look stupid. You're making him look stupid. Every time you talk in an absolute, you are burying his credibility. He's gonna get the brunt of what you're saying. Hany is mentioning here while he's doing calves that it is very important to get a full range of motion, stretch on both sides, and I must say that he is absolutely right. For a very long time, I am embarrassed to say that I did not think that both ends of the movement were that important. I would always end up not giving the most range of motion on the bottom portion of the movement. A large majority of that was because at a certain point in time in my life, I was getting very inflamed tendons at the bottom, near my Achilles heel. Everything was getting inflamed and causing pain, and so it felt less pain going up, more pain going down. But I will also tell you, I just neglected that portion of the movement as well. Excellent points to have a full range of motion. Now that I've started full range of motion on my calves, I will now do my calves specifically on the leg press machine in order, for some reason on the leg press machine, it's less strain on my tendons, so it doesn't hurt as much. And so I've seen substantial calf growth, and I'm so happy about that. Now, one thing that I'm noticing here is that Julian's toes are based on the angle of which I'm looking. Angles change things, as you know, so if the angle changes, everything can change about the picture. But what I'm noticing is, it appears to me that his toes they could be a little bit more on that little tiny bench. I would love to see the ball of his foot on that bench. That tiny little footrest. From here, it does not look like they are. I could be wrong, but I would love to see a little bit more foot on there. Why? You'll notice his feet are kind of look like they want to fall out of his shoes, number one. And number two, his feet seem to be twisting a little bit, which gives me the indication that his foot is not stable enough. So I would love to see him a little bit more on there. He could still get a great range of motion if he moves up a little bit on both ends of the movement, and I think he would be feeling better about this and more stable.
He's not very strong. So once again, probably because he's not used to doing these.
Hany just changed his tune, and I need you to catch that. Hany says, notice he's not very strong, and immediately jumped to, what? He's not used to doing this.
But he is not very strong. When you're taking drugs, guys, you naturally, one of the first things that goes up is your strength.
Here we go. Woo-wee!
That's actually insane.
Yo! Let's get 5 or 6. 4. Let's go, Julian. Push it.
In the last video, he was saying he's not very strong. That means he's natural. So he must have seen my video and realized he needs to stop saying that. But now he's changing his tune. That's very weird. Very weird that he's changing his tune up like that. Things like this make me not trust people, man.
But I guarantee you, he knows where the curl bar is.
And now he says he's not used to doing these, but I guarantee you he knows what a curl bar is. Blaming his gigantic arms on him only doing curls. You don't build a back and a chest like he has, if you guys have seen him without his shirt, if you only do curls.
So for the last 4 or 5 years he's been training, he's been stuck on the curl machine and the curl bar and dumbbell curls.
So the amount of hypocrisy and things that he's saying and the amount of absolutes is totally making Julian look like an idiot. Hany is speaking in such absolutes that if you were to listen to him, you can call out 10 hypocritical things and connect the dots because he's talking, with all due respect to the guy, out of his ass. Talking out of his ass. So Hany, just shut up, train the kid. You're making his life worse. You don't need to be doing this, bro. Just teach him. You said he's natural already. Run with it. Just run with it. He's natural. Run with it. You don't have to keep mentioning it. You don't have to keep making excuses. Let the haters hate and talk online, and you just do your thing. Stay in your lane, bro. You don't have to address everybody every 5 seconds.
Why do you not train calves?
Okay. Why do you not train calves? We've seen this dance before. Again, Hany making his guy look like an idiot. Now he's gonna have to come up with an excuse as to why he doesn't train his calves. My machine doesn't, my gym doesn't have it. I trained squats, so I thought I was training my calves. Whatever the hell his excuse is, Hany always asks him, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Because he literally trains like nothing, right? And of course, I don't mean nothing. He trains certain things, but he's trained such few muscle groups. And every time Hany says, you know, why haven't you done this? He looks like an idiot. I wish he would just stop asking him this question. Now he's doing another version of the calf raise. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. He's given him redundant things. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. Sure, they're different machines. They're going to train things a little bit differently. Not that much. 2 different hamstring variations, 2 different calf variations. He got 0 targeted quads today. What the hell is going on, man? This has been some crap training. This has been some crap training. This whole entire video, I mean, this could have been so much better. The first leg workout was so much better.
So, didn't go crazy, didn't try to kill him.
So, Hany mentioned here at the end of the video that they didn't go crazy, and they really didn't. I was shocked at how light they went today. The first leg workout, if I recall correctly, was way more hardcore than this. But hey, you know, whatever. If he wants to just teach you movements or whatever the case is, hey, it is what it is. I still don't get why they did 2 different variations, a lying version and a seated version of the hamstring extension, and then 2 different versions of the calf. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me, unless, of course, again, he just wanted to show him different machines, which could very well be the case. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this. I am actually very impressed with Julian. I have to say, I don't think he bitched or moaned at all in this video, which is impressive because for every video before this, he was. So I do believe he's watching these videos that people are putting out. He's getting feedback that is helping him from people like myself and people like you guys in the comments. So let us know what you think in the comments about Julian, about the progress that you've seen. Are his legs in fact bigger than what they typically are? Or am I crazy? Did he in fact gain weight? Does he look a little smaller today? Am I crazy when I think that? And what do you guys think about Hany? Constantly mentioning about how he's not on steroids. The guy's not on steroids. He's claiming, and you know, all the weirdness of the things that he's saying and the way he's been acting. Is it just a coach trying to defend his boy? Or is it something more nefarious? You guys let me know. Thank you for watching. Hope you loved it. I'll catch you all at the next video.